I've been getting yelled at to film sideways, so here we go. I feel terrible. I am currently at the Norwalk Inn. Wanted to give a huge shout out to my mom for multiple reasons. This will be a Joe gives his mom a bunch of props video. As you guys know, my headphones, my DearShocks, perished about a week ago, and those were the greatest earbuds that I've used. They're bone induction, so like my ears can stay open so I can still hear everything around me and also hear my music. I had been using these crappy generic Amazon fake AirPods, and they're, you get what you pay for. So I reached out. Mom went to Best Buy. I just took an Uber over to Best Buy because they're going to be open too late in the morning for me to wait around and stop in. So I picked up my headphones. So thank you, Mom. But I want to touch on something else. My mom, and really my dad to a degree, both gave me the gene of not thinking very highly of myself. But I don't think I've ever, publicly, on a video, really given my mom all the props she deserves. I've touched on it a bit, and I tell people when I see them out and we talk about it and it comes up. But my mom is the most forgiving person in the world. So, as you guys know, my father passed away last year, and really from the middle or so of the first walk until he passed, he had been in very bad shape. When he and Mom were together, and my dad would tell you this, so I don't feel bad sharing these details, but my dad was an alcoholic, and when they were married, my dad was abusive. Now, my dad, when he's sober, is the best guy in the world, but we all have our demons, and that was his. And when he got drunk, he would obviously do some things, and he said a lot of horrible things. He said horrible things to me and to my cousin, but that's, sober him was great. But like I said, he did abuse my mom when they were married, and the heart, the incredible forgiveness that woman showed to come around at the end of my father's life and be his best friend, his chauffeur, to all his doctor's appointments. She'd take him to do his laundry, take him to go pick up groceries, if not just outright have Walmart deliver groceries to my dad. They were best friends at the end. And to go from, being abused and being divorced to coming back around and having that level of forgiveness in your heart to be there for him when he had nobody but me and Kelly, that's a level of forgiveness that most human beings don't possess. So, Mom, you need to give yourself a little bit of grace. Also, I want to give a shout out to her. She started on a GLP-1, I'm not sure how many months ago, but my mother has lost over 100 pounds. And now she is up walking 3 to 4 miles a day. I don't know if it was the loss of my father, which she has admitted that it hit her a lot more than she thought it would. Or if it was her fantastic ability to unintentionally make me feel guilty about the walk, where she would say things like, well, I'm probably going to die while you're out on the walk. And I would fire back with things like, well, you could extend your life if you started working out and things like that. So she has started doing that. And whether it was the desire to extend her life as best she can, or the loss of my father, or maybe she's just, inspired by her insane son who does these randomly crazy things. I don't know, but she's killing it, and I wanted to give her props for that. She was our first and currently one of 2 recurring monthly donors that we've got set up. She's on a fixed income, and she's pledged and signed up to donate $20 a month to the nonprofit, and that's baller, She didn't have to get me the new headphones either, but she did because she knew how much I rely on music and whatnot. So, Mom, you're a rock star. I love you. This video was mostly to give you props. But now we'll talk about today. It sucked. I started off feeling pretty good, but like I said, I got about 7 miles in, and I literally stood in front of I looked up when this Mexican restaurant opened up, and it was noon, and boy, they waited till noon on the dot. But I stood on the sidewalk and stood there with my butt clenched because I could not walk anymore. Any step made me feel like I was gonna poop myself at 42 years old. So I went in, I fixed that issue. I had some lunch, very good lunch too. And I started walking, and it was hot. It was pretty miserable hot, but I was starting to feel somewhat okay. So I was like, you know what, we're going to go ahead. I got time. I can push forward to Stamford and get to the fire station. I got about 3/4 of a mile away from the hotel we ended up booking, and I was taking a break in the shade when I felt the rumble again. And it was at that point I knew, like, hey, I'm not going to chance this anymore. The weather's way better tomorrow. We'll just make up the miles. Because essentially, we had set our sights on Rye, New York for tomorrow. And it was going to be Stamford today. So it would have been like 20 miles today, 10 miles tomorrow. Instead, we basically flipped it and just did 10 miles today. And I'll shoot for 20 tomorrow. But yeah, it was just, it has been a rough day. But we'll rebound. I'll be all right. I think this is the first time since we've been back on the road that I've been attacked in the stomach like this. It happened a lot when we started the walk last year, which I think had a lot to do with the infarction that caused the emergency surgery that put us on hold for 6 months. So, for the most part, we've been back on the road for just over 100 days, and comparing this 100 days to the first 100 days last year, it's like night and day. I've physically, I don't hurt as much. I mean, I do. I don't have I have less severe injuries, if that makes sense. My hips are always hurting like that. They're going to hurt for the rest of my life. That's just life after the accident. But, otherwise, physically, I have felt better this time than I did the first 100 days when we started out last May. So I'm kind of thinking that whole infarction was a little bit longer term of an issue than what I thought it was. But, this is the first time I've kind of been floored by the bubble guts, which, if any of you followed the first walk, know that was a fairly frequent occurrence. So I'll take it happening much less any day. But, tomorrow's another day. I'm going to finish off the water that's in my jug and then take it to the restaurant here and have them top it off and try and go through another gallon to put some more fluids in me, mate. And then I'm probably going to crash out for the night. I am tired. Literally and figuratively, today took a lot out of me. But I want to say thank you to you guys for following along. I know that this is a crazy adventure, and I really appreciate everybody that reaches out and says things about how inspiring this is. I still struggle to accept those compliments. That's going to be something that I think I always struggle with. But I'm trying to use this walk to help others, but also, to try to work on healing some things with me. I don't have anything else to do except walk, so might as well put some effort in, right? But I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep trying to learn to love myself. At this point in my life, I would just be happy if I could tolerate myself. Have a good night, guys. All of y'all get some sleep, and I will catch up with you guys fully rested, mostly fully hydrated, and ready to knock out some miles in the morning. So have a good one. We'll see you guys then.